What's going on, YouTube? My name is Jacob, and in today's commentary I want to talk about Star Wars Battlefront and do my impressions video on it, because I mean I've been spending a shit ton of time on this, and I can tell you it's a really fun game. Now this is coming from a complete unbiased opinion. This is coming from a fresh set of eyes. I have never played any of the Star Wars Battlefront games, and you're gonna ask yourself, Jacob, what the fuck did you just say? Yeah, I know, right? The thing is, I wasn't such a big fanboy of Star Wars, the whole series itself, as a whole, back in the day. My friend would always tell me the stories, and he would always tell me to to get into it, and he would always tell me all the shit that would happen in Star Wars, and the enemies, and the protagonists and the antagonists, and he would just give me a bunch of context to what the fuck was going on. So like a year ago I finally gave it a chance, and I mean I got hooked. It's a very fascinating, when it comes down to storytelling, it does an excellent job. I already saw all the movies. I caught up with all of the movies, which the old movies weren't that good, like visually impressive. But I mean, when it came down to the story, it was really good. Also, I saw a bunch of shows on Netflix. I have a bunch of series on Netflix too. When it comes down to anime, so I watched those too. They were pretty interesting. They were pretty fun to watch. So that was like a year ago, and then I found out there was gonna be a game. So I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. I mean, I want to be a fucking state trooper. I just want to blast fucking rebels and shit. So, I mean, now that I get to play the beta, from this time on to the base game, until the base game releases, this is what they gave us. So, I want to kind of criticize it a little bit and try to give you guys the best information about what I've been seeing, what I've been experiencing personally. Now, one thing that you're gonna notice immediately off the bat, as soon as you finish your first match, is how thematic it is. This game is extremely thematic. It adds this particular element adds a lot to the gameplay itself. One particular, what I saw. One thing when it came down to Walker Assault is whenever they tell you, hey, you have to focus all fire on the Walker, trying to inflict as much damage as possible. It's just very thematic. You see all of your rebel friends, because you're on the rebel side. You see all the blasters, just fucking trying to fucking inflict as much damage as possible to this Walker, because it is a very it's not gonna be vulnerable for forever. It's got a limited time in which you can actually damage this particular vehicle. So when it comes down to that, you see all the lasers just flying around. It is very thematic. It's a very thematic experience. Even just watching the heroes, whenever they call them in, whenever you actually get to call them in, it's very fun to watch. I mean, I've seen them fucking both Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader just fucking battling that shit out in the middle of of the battlefield, as there's fucking lasers flying all over the place, which is again very thematic. That particular element, they did an excellent job at that. They make you feel like you're in a movie. You feel like you're contributing to what's going on, to the this bigger battle. When it comes down to the skyboxes too, they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. It's nothing but eye candy. You see the ships, just flying, up ahead. It's just very thematic when it comes down to that. Now, another thing is, this game is very addictive. I got addicted, to this game. I just wanted to keep on playing. I just wanted to keep on, even though it was on the same maps, I still find myself just keep coming back. I just wanted to keep on playing. I spent fucking hours with my friend, just going through long sessions, and really today I finished like a 3-hour session that I was recording, because it was so damn fun. Especially if you have a good partner with you, it adds more to the game than just trying to lone wolf it. Just like any other multiplayer game online, whenever you have your friends or whenever you meet people online, it's always better like that. No fucking doubt about that. When it comes into graphics, the graphic fidelity, when it comes down to it, it is absolutely amazing. This is a fucking good looking game. It's a sexy ass game. Now I didn't get to play on the PC. I was playing on Xbox, but even on the console, it looks pretty fucking dope. it looks fucking amazing. When it came down to the the movement mechanics, it feels a lot like Battlefield. And you can hear a lot of people say, "Oh, this is just Battlefield 4 with the the Star Wars kind of like retouch, basically just reskinned." And even if that's the case, who fucking cares? This game's fucking fun. This game is fucking thematic. When it comes down to how the players move, it looks good. It looks good. They got the movement right for the ATHTs, the ATSTs. The flying mechanic, not so much. I didn't like it that much. Whenever it came down to the dogfighting, it just felt kind of awkward. I don't know why. I guess I was expecting Battlefield 4 kind of like dogfighting, but here it just feels very, very awkward to me. I was trying to get the hang of it. I was trying to practice on it, but it just, I guess you have to get used to it in this particular scenario. But yeah, other than that, graphics, they look fucking amazing. Also another thing, Drop Zone and Walker Assault, they were fun game modes, but this is where the problems start creeping in. When it came down to Walker Assault, the rebels are never gonna fucking win. Okay, 99.9% of the time, the Imperials are gonna take the match. They're gonna take it for their own. They're gonna win, fucking for sure. Okay, because the one thing that they did wrong is when it came down to balancing between these two, between the Imperials and the rebels is the Imperials have a shit ton of doohickeys and gadgets that they can use. They got the ATHTs constantly firing down on the rebels, and they got the ATSTs as support. So that's a huge disadvantage, because the thing is, the rebels don't have any vehicles, other than the flying units. But that's not good enough, because they're probably dogfighting out up in space. I mean, up in in the air. So it's for air support to be to come down and try to take down an ATST, or try to inflict a serious amount of damage on the ATHTs. It's very rare. Okay, almost the infantry will always be alone. They're gonna have to fend off for themselves, and it's pretty tough. I've been on both sides and have never ever won a match as a rebels, which is a shame. So they did that wrong. Right now the balance is pretty broken. When it came down to that, they have too many vehicles. When it comes into Imperials, they have way too many vehicles. They're way too powerful, and I guess you could say it's a bit more thematic when it comes down to it, because just like in the movies, when it comes down to the rebels and stuff like that, they're not supposed to have as many resources as the Imperials, right? The Imperials, they have all the resources, they have all the money, they have all the weapons, they control, they're a giant fucking army basically, so they're fucking controlling everything. But when it came down to this, in the beta, when it came down to, gameplay wise, it didn't work. It didn't function properly. It was kind of a misfire. Because it just added more frustration to the game. When I would be a rebel, I would just be fucking frustrated, because I was just getting blasted left and right, by infantry, hiding on the fucking hillside, sniping. I had to worry about the ATSTs, the ATHTs, and the ATSTs. They can be taken down pretty easily with the ion grenades. They work fucking wonders. If you didn't know, try using the ion grenades. They're fucking perfect when it comes down to the ATSTs. You can bring them down pretty quick. But that's the only thing you had, fucking grenades, against these fucking vehicles. But if you have a really good, pilot, a really good, player that they know how to maneuver this, vehicles, across the map, you're gonna get fucking, you're gonna get, fucked, Even in the ATHTs, they can feel very underpowered, calling orbiter strikes. They got lasers, they got cannons. They're a giant fucking, enormous tank. That's very, hard to take down. So that's one thing, that I didn't like. The balancing, it was pretty bad right now in the beta. Hopefully it'll get fixed on the base game. One thing, another thing that needs to be mentioned is the spawn system. It's fucking terrible right now. Okay, that I do have to agree, because I saw a lot of YouTubers commentating on this and pointing this out, that it was pretty bad. when it came down to the spawn system. And they're right, they're pretty fucked right now. The Imperials can easily get behind you very quickly. Very rarely did I see, you know, the Rebels actually get behind the Imperials. It was mostly the Imperials just getting behind the, you know, the Rebels. You know, for some reason I will be in the comm link in the beginning of the match, and all of a sudden they will be fucking behind me on the mountainsides, or, you know, kind of like on the hillsides, and they would just fucking be spamming down their fucking, you know, lasers down on us, and be like, what the fuck? How the fuck did they, you know, get behind me? That's fucking bullshit. You know, so it just added, you know, another element, you know, another, you know, factor, you know, to the frustration. It was very frustrating trying to, you know, I mean, getting flanked constantly because of the fucking, you know, bad spawn systems. Because the rebels would just constantly spawn outside, so they would be very vulnerable. If the ATHTs or the ATSTs were, you know, close by, they would just get fucking nuked. You know, I know because I experienced that firsthand, and it fucking sucked. But other than that, I mean, I think it can get fixed. I mean, I think hopefully they'll listen to the feedback. I know it's asking you right now. I mean, if you finish a match, it'll ask you, you know, for some feedback. Give them your honest feedback. You know, I know you can't go into specifics on, you know, how you feel about the game, but try to, you know, come close to it and make sure they know and they understand. Hopefully it'll get fixed. Now I'm gonna be following this game whenever the base game drops by, and I'm gonna buy it on day one because I'm really excited about this game. Even though it had, you know, a bunch of issues, it's still a fun game. There's a lot of fun to be, you know, had here. Like I said, the game is thematic, the game is beautiful. It's nothing but eye candy, and especially if you have, you know, friends with you in the party just playing with you, it just adds more, because these types of games are meant to be played with friends. They're meant to be played, you know, with people. You know, try to socialize with, you know, even with randoms, you know, and, you know, you'll have a good match. That's what I try to do. That's what I did, and it worked out just, you know, just great. Now another thing that, you know, concerns me, aside, you know, from the beta, this is coming to the, you know, this is coming for the base game, microtransactions. This is something that's worrying me a lot. Now I'm not a big fan of RNG. I've complained about this, you know, in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare on my past videos. I hate RNG. I hate all that fucking bullshit, because basically it destroys any sort of, you know, the true meaning of progression system. Because if you guys remember, like, Halo Reach, in Halo Reach, if you see somebody with a fucking those armor pieces that will cost a shit ton, and you needed the experience to get to that particular level, you would be shitting bricks every time you would see that dude just fucking rushing your ass. Because it basically just meant that you know, he had a level of experience that you probably didn't have. He had spent a, you know, shit ton of, you know, time, you know, in the game, so which you know, basically means experience, which basically means he's probably good. And for the most times, you know, for the most part, you know, he was. Here, I didn't see much customization when it came down to it. There was no weapon customization that I, you know, was able to play with, and the character customization we didn't get to play with, you know, either. So hopefully they'll add some, you know, customization of any sort, you know, to the game, because it needs it at this time. You know, it's just lazy now, you know, at this, you know, for these standards, you know, in this day and age, for these types of games to not have customization. They need to have customization now. You know, another example is Titanfall. Titanfall, you know, could have, you know, benefited itself from, you know, a good amount of customization, but it fucking failed to do that too. And I just don't want this particular game to, you know, not do that. Hopefully they can do it. Another thing that I saw, well, when it comes down to, you know, microtransactions, is hopefully they won't sell too many, because it's Star Wars. Okay, DICE and EA, they know that there's a huge fan base when it comes down to this, and hopefully they won't try to milk the fan base. Hopefully they'll, you know, put some effort into their game and put some love and let it cook properly, because it needs to, you know, cook properly, because right now it's kind of raw. It doesn't taste very good. I mean, it's something, you know, but I mean, they have a bunch of issues right now that, you know, they need to fix. So please like and share the video if you enjoyed it. This is Jacob, logging off.